What's your thing? It's about to be.
Do you feel like his starting position, because, you know, he's been playing a lot with the ones, he's seen some action with the twos, but with that being said, the fact that he's not available, is his starting position on the line? Like, do you think there's a possibility where he could maybe lose that to someone like Caleb Rogers? Either of you can take
Yes. Yes. Short and sweet. Yes.
Ditto. What do you say?
Can't make the club in the tub.
All that matters is today. You're present, man. 3.5 hours. Do this together, man. It starts with us. It ends with us. Hey, no cheers! That's everything we got.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Availability is the only ability that matters in Clint Kubiak's offense. And right now, 2 names on the Raiders depth chart are becoming synonymous with MIA, missing in action. With JPJ exiting early again and Donté Thornton struggling to climb back into the rotation, the math ain't mathing, and it's getting ugly for both of them. Welcome to Bart. It's your boy Black, the quarterback, and I'm here with Pizzle Raider himself, my Nizzle. Pizzle, what's good with you?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
I'm good. What's up with them chat raiders, man? Man, Pizzle, look, man. I've seen the comments. Fans are done waiting on JPJ. His durability from your perspective. Is there any reason to keep him, or is it time to cut bait and you know what I'm saying, give the guys that's there time to shine? What you think?
Well, I think it's definitely gonna give Rogers a chance to step in and definitely get some more reps. You know, and and maybe they weren't planning on starting in this game anyways. So who knows what was going on in that aspect anyways. Even if he is hurt, they may not have been starting him anyway. So they might just taking him off the field and letting him be resting, right? Let him rest for a little bit, let him get back to being healthy. So when game 1 comes around next month, he's good to go. They're not really too worried about the I believe they're not too worried about the injury right at this moment, because they still got about a month left before they start the season, at least 3 weeks. So to get him healed back up. But yeah, his durability is starting to definitely be questionable for sure.
Yeah, man, because it leaves room for speculation, because there's already speculations about JPJ being traded. He's always injured. Like, soon something happened to him, it automatically turns into a thing. And it kind of gets under my skin, and I got goosebumps again thinking about these Raiders this year. I'm trying to tell y'all, something special is in the mix. I'm trying to tell y'all. But it gives it room for speculation. And then at this point, I can't really like totally discount it, because earlier I was like, man, y'all putting too much on it. There's no way that Rodgers can beat JPJ, but the only way he can really get played out of position in my mind is if he's not available. And so now it's starting to become a thing. But like you said, I think it's more of we're just trying to make sure that he's ready for game 1. It's not necessarily a big thing. So do you think there's really a position battle?
No, I don't think so. I think that he's getting his reps on, and which is good in case in case he does become depth, right? Either one of them could become depth at this point. If JPJ ain't ready to go, he might just become the depth guy for a minute, because he's not ready to go, and Rodgers is good to go, and he's able to stay healthy. So maybe, at a certain point, you're going to have to ride with who's healthy. If you can't get healthy over the next month and then come out and get hurt again in the first few games or whatever, then you got a problem.
Man, what do you guys think, chat? What's up with the chat redders, man? I appreciate y'all that hacked in early. You know, Jason Marshall, what's good with you, my brother? Jack Gustav, you know, I call you Jack Gustav, but I'm gonna tell y'all one day what his name is. It's really funny though once you put it all together. And Justice for 12, what's up with my brother and Raider 24 Nation 81, two of my favorite numbers. I don't know if you guys saw my community post. 81 was my first football number. Tim Brown, my favorite player. I have a picture of me and Tim Brown on there. And then 24 when I played corner, that was my number playing corner. So those two are my favorite numbers, and 2 is my other favorite number. So that I played with. So shout out to y'all for hacking in early. Make sure y'all hit that like button for your boys so we can get back into the algorithm, because we starting to get back into the algorithm, dog. We starting to get back into the algorithm, dog. So all the people that was talking about my low numbers and all that other stuff, I told y'all once they recalibrate it, it's gonna be on and popping. So now what we need to do is get Pizzle page on and popping. So make sure y'all go over there and hack in with his page too. But so as you guys saw earlier, Q Myers and Lincoln Kennedy and Chantel, who I love their podcast, and I do respect what they say a lot. You know, not everything, but a lot of the times. And so they were saying, you know, essentially, hey, it's up for grabs at this point. I don't believe that it's up for grabs at this point. And we're talking about JPJ being injured. So and if you are an apologist for JPJ, they called it the Beehive or something like that because they don't have a cool name like Nando Sexual. But yes, I'm part of the Beehive. Then I'm part of the JPJ Hive or whatever you want to call it. Because I think really high of this kid. I think he's just trying so hard to prove himself, and I don't think that there's a position battle here. And so the stat was thrown out that JPJ was played 23 out of 34 games, out of his 34 games. So let me put that in perspective though, because they were talking about coming out of the tunnel with JPJ, Colton Miller, and Max Crosby, which is fitting for those guys because they're like the leaders of the team. So guess how many games Max Crosby played in the last 34 games? Take a guess. Chat, take a guess. Also, take a guess with Colton Miller too. The last 34 games, how many games they've actually played? How many games would you say that Colton Miller played in the last 34 games?
I'd probably say maybe 21, maybe 22.
Excellent guess.
Right off the top of my head, something like that.
21 games. Mind you, JPJ 23. So let's say the Max Crosby. How many games you think he played in the last 34 games?
I think he played like 24, 25, something like that.
Okay, that's not good. So he played 27. So JPJ is in the middle of that. And a lot of people knocked Max Crosby for his injuries in the last couple of years. They've knocked Colton Miller in the last couple of years, which I don't have no concerns about their availability, should I say. I don't. Especially Max Crosby, because Max Crosby, they shut him down at the end of the year. He would have played through those injuries. Colton Miller probably would have played more games, but he only had a high ankle sprain. There was no need to bring him back. JP a little bit more because he got concussion issues or whatever. He got injured in the red zone. We don't even know if it was a concussion. And I think a part of the reason why people are thinking that, because it's naturally easy to believe, is something that has to do with concussions. It could have been something like he tweaked his knee, tweaked his ankle, anything, something slight. From what I understand, he popped right up and was like, so it's a precautionary thing. So with that, all that being said, he's right in the middle of those two guys missing games. So I'm not too flustered about that. I'm not too concerned about that. What do you think about that, though?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think there's actually is a competition going on right now per se. But if he gets hurt, he He's just giving these guys reps with the number ones for in case something like that happens. So, that's what he's out there doing right now. He's getting reps, getting ready to be getting ready to be the backup or ready to be the starter. But either way, he's going to be ready to step in and do what he needs to do and know what he needs to do, which is the important thing.
Yeah. I think I love Lincoln Kennedy, the professor, but he brought into the conversation concussion, which is the natural default. And I don't like to speculate that. I just don't. It could be. I don't know. He
It could
might
be
know
a
something. I don't know.
protocol. They could have just said, all right, let's go see what happened. Let's go make sure you're all right and put you under protocol.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just go just to make sure you're all right, yada yada yada. And they're not gonna go out and release anything until, especially if nothing happened to them, because they just took a precaution. And
yes,
and that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to side on the side of error, right? That's what they say.
Error to the side of caution or whatever, caution side,
caution
error, something like that. Yeah. Y'all better leave JPJ alone. Y'all gonna make me bring out the mini bat. I'm gonna have to feel y'all here messing with JPJ, man. Look, I don't think it's a competition because Caleb Rogers is trending. Don't get me wrong, he's trending. He was trending since the off season. So my thing is this: he's not better than JPJ. The only thing that can stop JPJ is him being healthy enough to play. If let's say if a starter like Cousin Kurt, if he was to get injured, knock on wood if you with me, because I don't want that to happen. But if he was to get injured and some other quarterback comes in, when he's no longer injured, he's coming back in. Same thing with JPJ. Like you said, if JPJ not ready at the beginning of the year and Rodgers goes in and plays, I think he's just placeholding for JPJ. And if it becomes an issue again, then you might have to really consider it. Well, JPJ, it is what it is. But I just don't feel like. He's been with the ones all off season. Like, they know what they have in JPJ, and they just need him to make it to the starting gate.
Yeah, we just need you to get over there. It's like it's like a lame cow, and we just need you to stand for a minute, and then we can slaughter you for 1 second. We'll come over with the forklift and prop you up and shit, and then pull away, and if you can stand for a second, all right, we're good to go. Let's bring him in now. Woo.
J-Roll, what's good with my brother, and what's good with my brother and J-Roll? Let's see. Oh, Raider 8 straight. Welcome back. Yep. See, we getting back in the algorithm, bro. We getting back. The people starting to find us. I'm loving it. So look, let me ask you guys about this O-line. What is our identity of this O-line without JPJ? Because it usually starts with the center. If you can punk the center, then the whole line is the center. You can't punk the center in Linderbaum, but he's a quiet guy like Colton Miller. Our two anchors are they're quiet type guys. But we need that. We're gonna punch you in the mouth. You ain't gonna punk us person on that O line. That's where JPJ comes in. So without him, what would our identity be in your opinion?
Yeah, it'd be hard to say what it would be. But either way, like you said, you're not punking the center, so that's the most important part of the whole thing. But you want to be able to come in and pancake some people, because with those three right there in a row, that's going to be that's a lot of beef. You're on mute or something. I can't hear you. But yeah, that's like I said, that's a lot of beef to stop going in forward motion. So you got to just hope for the best, But as far as identity goes, I think that he'd be able to step in and do a pretty decent job.
Yeah, Mom Duke said call. You know what's funny? She don't call me all day, but when she called me, I'll be streaming.
Oh, it's all good. I was able to pick up where I left off for a minute.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. You did do that. Woo. So you're right. They're not gonna punk our O-line, but then we still need somebody that's gonna punch you in the mouth though. Because
Yeah.
just like when Max did what he did with Kirk Cousins, right? JPJ was there, right? He was the one that was like, let's, you know, he might not want to necessarily fight, but he was there to protect the quarterback because he did take his helmet off, which ain't the smartest thing to do, but he, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
But it
you're
should
not
have been
supposed to do
DJ
that.
Glaze. Glaze is the one that gave up the sack, like so to speak. So without him, I don't know what it would be like without JPJ. We need that dog in there. So
Yep.
we need somebody that's gonna fight like that, and we need somebody. We need that time for the O line to gel too. How much time do you think it need? Excuse me, it takes for an O line to gel.
Well, they've been playing together for a little bit, right? Since training camp or OTAs. Right, so they've been together for a little bit, which is a good thing. But they're still it's probably going to take another. Honestly, it used to take years back in the day. These guys
Yeah.
used to stay together for like a decade or even longer. But nowadays, it's coaching and the players are a little bit more athletic and a little bit smarter than those guys were.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, so there are a lot is and it's not football back then was a lot more straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, you're right. I'm thinking it's going to take probably about 4 weeks, a real game, not this glorified college game or practice or whatever, like these preseason games. It's going to take like 4 legit games before we can have an expectation. But we need JPJ to be there because you can't be there 3 weeks and then disappear, and then we put in Rodgers, and then you're the revolving door because you're a pivotal piece. Because outside of Colton Miller and Linderbaum, you're supposed to be the third. The third head of this 3-headed monster because we got 2 anchors. Like I keep telling everybody, we got a yacht now. Our O line is like a yacht. We got 2 anchors. So JPJ, you can't be that missing link all the time because all you're doing is giving another person a chance to come in there and play well. And if he play well, you can't take Caleb Rogers out. Hey, can you hold it down for like about 1 minute? I'll be right
yeah,
back.
it's all good. What's cracking, Joel Lee? What's cracking?
Oh yeah, if you can read the comments, we got some few comments too. If you can,
yeah. I can say what's up. What's up to Frank? What up, Weber? Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, the O line does need an enforcer, and you're right. JPJ definitely kind of brings that attitude, but we haven't really seen what kind of attitude Rodgers has because we haven't been there, so we don't know if he's a pushover or not yet. But we definitely need a bully up there. That's always good. I like somebody that can pancake people. What up, Justice for 12? Let's see what he's got to say. Any word on Trey Zoon? Yeah, no. He was playing really good last week in the O line. He was playing Colton Miller's position, and he held up really good, and that was cool. No, I'm not starting Mendoza over Cousins yet, man. Not yet, Joel Lee. Maybe I don't know. Maybe sometime this year. Maybe around Thanksgiving. For me, it's going to be Cousins' job to lose. Like if he goes out and does really crappy or whatever, then yeah, we'll probably see Mendoza around Thanksgiving. But if Cousins comes out and lights it on fire, we might actually win some games because I know this is preseason and camp, bro. You can't really put too much on it. You're just looking at talent. These guys are out there for one drive. Like Cousins is only going to be out there for one drive, if he even gets that this week. It might just be Mendoza and AOC, and then my boy Jacob Clark. So
we need to see more Clark. We need to see more Clark.
We already seen what AOC can do last week.
I don't know what comments you read, but here, let me grab a couple. He said it's hard to say. Maybe if Rodgers is good enough, JPJ move the left guard and Burford ride the pine. Yeah, you know what? That's interesting. That's an interesting point, Webb, as you always eloquently do. Is it was like Burford was the odd man out in this situation, and then it became about JPJ. And I'm like, wait a minute, what made me think Burford is the one that's going to stay in that position? Now, when I did see him at the presser, he looked the part, but I'm like, well, you got to play the part, and I'm like, you're not better than JPJ. Like, you almost have no competition over there. Like, I'm confused. So I'm with you. If Caleb Rogers does rise to the level, JPJ can simply go to left guard, and then he could get some help between Linderbaum and Colton Miller. Kind of like training wheels, if you will.
Justin for 12 is right on that right there. We don't need to see him anymore. Like we're trying
Don't
to
need to
pump
see
this
who
guy
anymore.
up to get some we got to try and pump this guy up to get some trade value for AOC, and he goes out there and shits him right down his own leg.
So Raider 24 said your son Raider was born on the 24th. Please don't tell me you named your son Raider, because if you did, you were the hardest Raider fan ever. You were the hardest Raider fan ever. And whoever the mother is that allowed you to do that, shout out to her. Oh my God. You see, interior lineman, worst position in football to have a concussion history. More chances of hitting hit. I agree. I just feel JPJ's a time bomb. Hate to say it, Jason Marshall says. Oh my God. You know what? You did name your kid that. He said he named our daughter Autumn Wynn, and our son Raider Andrew. The silver and black run through our family. Oh my God. You know what?
Sick.
You are the hardest. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, you really named your daughter Autumn Wynn too? Bro, you're the hardest Raider fan there is. Sorry. For sure. Wow. Okay. Wow. Any word on Trey Zoom, our rookie? How's he been looking? I looked at a little bit of tape, and it's quiet tape for me. I need to look a bit more intently in this O-line. I'll be paying attention to this game, which reminds me, we will be doing the play-by-play. We're going to do the play-by-play. The play-by-play is here. Your boy Black and Pizzle, if he pulls up, we're going to have what we called it? The
Watch parlay.
The watch parlay. There we go. It's going to be the watch parlay. Make sure y'all pull up for the watch parlay.
I don't know about calling plays. I ain't calling no plays, but I'm
going to call the plays. I know you ain't calling no plays. He said, I want to see Jacob Clark last week. We don't need to see AOC. That's what you was talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I talked about Trey Zoom before you came. He played last week in Colton Miller's position with the twos, and he did a great job. And then they left their number ones in there. They had their number one defensive lineman in there for a minute when Zoom was in there, and he held his own.
Every low line needs an enforcer. Facts.
Yeah, I answered that too.
Joel said, Pizzle, are you starting Mendoza or Cousins?
I already told him.
Who'd you say?
I told him
Cousins, of course. Yeah,
Cousins until and then I said until it's his job to lose. If he does a horrible job, then we'll see him by I'll say probably Thanksgiving. But if we're winning or if we're having any type of success, and it's because of him, then we're not going to see him probably at all this year.
Yeah. All right, my brother J-Roll. Brother J-Roll with he had 5 on it with the $5 super chat. Got 5 on it, and he's going to be our sponsor of the show so far. Thank you, my brother J-Roll. You always bless the pod with a couple dollars so we can put it with our 5 and put your feed with our feed in, and we can
what up, no bueno? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah,
glad to see you coming around.
He said people are jumping out of the window because of this Texans practice, but in the regular season we can scheme against people's strength. Facts, and we're going to talk about that. You know what? I'm glad you said that. That's definitely worth the $5 super chat for sure. I'm with you on that. And we're gonna talk about that after we talk about DT Donté Thornton because we I kind of see what we're doing with JPJ. It's all up to him. But when it comes to Donté Thornton, he ain't been on the field at all. So, what are your thoughts about Donté? What you thinking about DT? Because they were saying that he was essentially not going to make the squad. He was going to get waived or he was going to get cut, not make the 53. I don't believe that. But what are your thoughts on that, Pizzle?
Well, supposedly, I think he's got a hamstring or some kind of injury right now. So,
Yeah.
you know, I guess he's got to rest that and get that
Mm.
healed up. So, you know, I don't know what he was doing before that, if he was in there running the route tree and getting his game up and putting in the work. But right now, he just got to stretch that hamstring out and wait. Just keep stretching it. And that's all you could do.
Yeah, you don't want to pull that. You know, you don't want to re-aggravate that. So I think that's another one of those things where he's gonna start the season. He might not have a starting position though, but I feel like he's gonna be playing. They don't want to rush it.
Yeah, like I said, they just got him chilling. They got him on ice right now. They want him fresh for the start of the season.
Yeah,
Hopefully
give him
that's
no
the plan.
excuse. So that way he has no excuses. And if he get his job taken, it's because he wasn't there. That's all.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, I don't know. They might like what they see out of him. I mean, you know, they might have coached him up. Although Gruden's kid's the wide receiver coach, right?
Who, Deuce Gruden? No,
Yeah.
Azani is the wide receiver coach.
All right, is that a new guy?
Yeah, he's supposed to be he's really, really good.
All right, good. Well, we're gonna see what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, he better. So I don't know what's going on with Donté Thornton, but he needs to definitely get his way on the field because Malik Benson is flashing. I'm sorry, Malik Benson is doing his thing,
Yep.
and then I heard possibly he's going to get waived or not make the 53, or they can even put him on an IR for the year.
Yeah, they could IR him and bring him up after he proves himself. He's gonna have to work his way back onto the field is what's gonna happen. Or they're gonna cut him. They got two options. You go down to the practice squad and earn your way back up, I guess. Or they just got him chilling on ice, like I said, like they got JPJ and all these other guys. They wanna have a healthy start game one. I think everybody in the league does. If you can start off the season with your full roster, you have a really good chance of possibly going the whole season being healthy. When you don't want to start off all jigsaw puzzled in pieces. You want to try and start with everything that you have, so they want to see what we have. In order to see what we have, all of these pieces got to be there. They can't be missing.
Right. Well, with Donté Thornton, even if they IR'd him, right? Because I think maybe since he's such a high draft pick, they might not necessarily, move on from him already. Why not? Why are we not hearing that same thing about JPJ then? Because we know JPJ have a higher upside than Donté Thornton. So I'm like, why wouldn't we use that same excuse for JPJ? See, that's what make me think that people there's certain players on this team they don't want to see succeed because they want to see another player in that position. Like Kirk Cousins is one of them. I think people don't want to see Kirk Cousins succeed because they want to see Fernando play. I think JPJ is a player that I think Colton Miller is a player that they don't want. They're injured or they're this or they're that. So that way you can see Trey Zoom. So you can see Grant. Like, I'm not getting it. So Donté, my jury is still out on him. I don't think they'll get rid of him. I do think he needs to find his way on the field because he's really playing himself out of position because Malik Benson is out there doing his thing and he can do more things than Donté Thornton.
That's not good for Thornton.
No, that's not good for Thornton at all.
It's not good for Thornton.
So let's talk about. Let me see. Let's talk about the Texans practice yesterday, and I'm gonna read some of these comments. What were your overarching thoughts about the Texans practice yesterday?
Well,
The joint practice.
we've already. I expected it to be a tough day. I don't know
Mhm.
anybody who didn't expect it to be a tough day. We kind of went over this the other day. I don't know. Maybe we were on the phone or whatever. Maybe we were doing a live, but they got a good defense, like 2, 3, maybe even 1. They're definitely in the top. They're definitely in the top 5 as far as defense. They were in the top 1 or 2 last year, so they had a really good defense. So, yeah, I expected them to get a little roughed up. I expected them to go out there and get some interceptions and do what they do. That's what they do. I mean, they get paid money too. And
Yeah,
they've
they
been
do.
together, they've been together longer, so they're more in sync. It's just they got that old Niners defensive coordinator as their head coach. He brought that Robert Saleh defense over there, and he's doing a great job as far as defense goes. They're sick. Now the
Yeah.
offense, I don't know. I can't say too much about the offense, but the defense looks really good. Well, I'm not surprised that they got 2 pick sixes or whatever. They're just trying to see what they can get away with on Thursday night. Right now, that's what they're doing.
So we know we can't get away with that. And the thing
Right.
about that was the dude was really just he was just really sitting there. So what happened was Mendoza read the coverage wrong because it was like a cover 2. The dude was sitting there. I'm assuming it was a cover 2 because I couldn't see everybody where they were at. But anytime you got a dude just sitting in the zone, it's probably a cover 2 or cover 3. But I'm going to say it was cover 2. And then when the running back was running to the zone, it was a dude already there because I think that pass was going to Genty. So we can't get away with that. I thought I see a comment on here that says your son Raider is in the hospital having seizures and things like that. 2-4 Nation. Prayers out to him and your family for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely, man.
Prayers. Hopefully, it ain't no hopefully. He will be better. It ain't no hopefully to that. We just gotta believe in that, and we ask for strength and patience for you and your family and your wife and whatnot. So, prayers to you and your son and your family. I also see somebody here I haven't seen in here before. Is look like it's Village or I don't. I'm not. I'm probably saying that wrong. But what's good with you? Justice for 12 said, we need a player like Thornton. I agree because of his size and speed. Like I continually say, when it comes to him, he stretches the field. It creates spacing for Brock Bowers. It creates spaces for the receivers going running drags underneath or mesh routes and choice routes or China routes or whatever. So it gives him spacing, even if he doesn't get the ball. So we do need DT to get back. Now,
But if he's hurt, it don't matter. If he's hurt, he can't do that. That's the problem.
That's true.
He's not being able to go out there and do what he needs to do. I mean, I know you can take mental reps and check out, and learn the playbook, but you need to be able to run the routes and stuff. You know what I mean? It's one thing to know the playbook, but you got to get out there and run the routes and do that stuff.
Yeah, J. Rowe, I agree with you. And J. Rowe, he's in our membership. So whenever you're in the membership, you get automatic preferential comment reads along with super chats. So I'm telling y'all, you really get into the memberships. The membership's starting to crank up. I'm trying to do some live streams with it. We got a few people in the membership. I'm trying to do some live streams there where we can do some real talking about some real things that we can't talk about on YouTube so much. And I'm talking about even as far as football and things about it's just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So consider joining the membership. But my thoughts about that is, yes, I think Kubiak will disguise some of our deficiencies because that's what he's good at, and exploiting other teams' deficiencies. So I think as when the real games come about, that's what's going to happen. Now, for me, the joint practices is just that, a practice. Like you're going to make mistakes in practice. Like it's not like a game where you try to play the perfect game, although you can't play one, but you can play one as perfect as possible. And I do get it. Practice don't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So you try to perfect practice, but you got to have room for mistakes. And I think that we chose that team for a reason, is so that way it was a litmus test to see where we were going to be, where we were going to be at this point. And now we know. Now, last game, it didn't look
Well,
too
we
good
don't know
for us.
yet. We only know about practice. We ain't played the game yet.
Facts. And me and Pizzle been going back and forth about this defense thing, and my jury is still out about the defense. But
My
Pizzle,
jury never
along with a
even
lot of
walked in.
people, huh?
My jury hasn't even walked in.
No, your jury is already out. Your jury is already deliberated. And so I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with our defense. I mean, of course, I would have liked to see them play a little bit better, but 15 for 15, that don't look good. But Jacoby Brissett isn't chopped liver. I keep trying to tell people that. Gardner Minshew ain't chopped liver. I don't know why everybody seem to think he AOC Jr. He's better than AOC. Like he's a starter in this league. Like he can really light it up too if he has time, which he did not have when he was with the Raiders. So you're gonna see these quarterbacks that play with us play better, and then you're gonna be like, well, why didn't they play like that for us? Because we didn't have our play calling was terrible and our O line play was terrible. So that's why, in case y'all was wondering. But
I wasn't wondering.
you wasn't wondering.
No, I never wondered about that.
So I don't know. There was some good things that happened. I heard Mike Washington scored, and it's good to see him trending up.
Yeah,
But
well, I heard that was only on the twos though. He wasn't doing too good against the number ones. So I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll see what happens. He just, like I said, running backs have to adjust to the speed of the game. It's a little bit different for them and other team, other players, because they have to go with the O line. They kind of rely on that, so they have to get used to that speed of it and how small the holes are versus how big they are in college. Like they got to, you know what I mean? They got to know that the hole is going to be a different size here.
yeah, No Bueno says the defense is definitely a problem that shouldn't be overlooked. I'm not overlooking it, but I'm about to read you guys because it looks like you guys got a shotgun blast against the defense. Let me see what else it says. I am worried about our defense. Let's see how they do tomorrow. Let me see. Okay, so let me say this about our defense. I'm not concerned, but I'm disappointed. I'm not concerned, but I'm disappointed about how they played. But I'm not concerned, right? I'm not overlooking it, but I understand that it takes time for the defense to kind of get some continuity together. And not only that, we got everything is brand new key. We got everything brand new, everything, including the defensive coordinator who's never called plays before. I don't think the defensive coordinator was the issue in our last preseason game, because I've seen players in position, they just didn't make the play. McCoy, and I think that'll just come back with reps. So my jury is still out when it comes to the defense. I just think it's going to take us some time, up until about the third or fourth week, before I can start really looking at where our defense is deficient. I'll be able to tell, like, maybe after a couple weeks what's going on, but my jury is going to be out until about week 4.
Yeah, I'm concerned and disappointed. How about that? I'm both. The defensive line looked horrible. The guy was running on will on us. I just was like, okay. It looks like the same thing we had last year. But I
So with
understand.
that,
I understand it's vanilla. It's vanilla. It's vanilla. You know, base defense versus base. I get it. I
mm-hmm.
understand. But that base defense didn't look very good.
But that was all right. I'm gonna just let it be what it is. So, what are we looking forward to tomorrow's game? Do we expect a little bit more of the same? Do we think they're
I'm
gonna run
hoping
through
not.
us?
I'm hoping that improves. I hope these guys. I hope the corners improve a little bit at least, in the safeties. I hope they looked at some tape and they were able to grow from that experience last week, because they're going to get picked on all year because they're rookies. So they're going to have growing pains. They're going to have growing pains all year. I mean, it's just the way it's going to be. I mean, we have to. I mean, I know I'm being a little hard on them right now, but they're just rookies, and I have to just accept that. They don't really have any experience yet. That's why they were able to extend the arm on them last week and score touchdowns and have their way with McCoy last week, because he's not used to that kind of manhandling yet. But he's going to figure it out.
Yeah. I think he already figured it out.
So,
you ain't lying.
So,
but
no,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, one thing that I know a lot of people are interested in seeing is Mendoza. They want to see Mendoza. He got a lot of times with the ones yesterday, and I think we're going to see a lot of him in this preseason game, which I think is nothing more than get him reps. Because Kirk Cousins know what it is. He don't need these reps at this point. Because I think what really was happening, as we've been saying since, what was it, April 4th or whatever, that he's going to be the starter. He already knows what's going on. What Kubiak needed to see was if he was geriatric,
right,
and to see if he could actually still play, which he proved at the end of last year and coming into this year, to see if he was going to hit that proverbial wall, which it doesn't look like. Kirk Cousins came in sharp, throwing balls exactly where they wanted to. Just like when he threw the ball to Mayer. Did you see how he threw the ball to Mayer, where Mayer, all he had to do was naturally just catch it and turn around, where he didn't have to catch it, do a spin, or catch it and then calibrate himself to make a move? Caught the ball perfectly, and then he was able to make a move and damn near go in there untouched, because them corners did not want to see Mayer at that point, because he's going to run him over. So they made a business decision. Speaking of business decision, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, because tomorrow we're going to do the play-by-play, and we're going to have the watch parlay tomorrow. So make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. It's the red, you feel me, right underneath the screen. So
yeah, I want to see Fernando too. I mean, I think everybody does, right? I mean, but we'll see him in the preseason, and if Kirk Cousins gets hurt, barring that, that's probably gonna be the only time we're gonna see him this year, unless, like I said, barring Kirk Cousins loses his job, like you said, he goes full geriatric and he can't do nothing. Then we'll probably put the kid in, because at that point it doesn't matter. It's growing pains anyways.
Right. And I think it helps with the learning curve too, because then we don't have to rely on AOC coming in for so many games or for some games. Because if Fernando is out there looking better than AOC at this point, then we might as well just go and rock with Fernando, if it comes to a point where there's a wall that Kirk Cousins hit.
I agree 100%. And I think that's what they think too. I mean, they already know he's better than AOC. So, they're still doing their little thing, but it's obvious to me who is better.
Yeah.
Right?
It's obvious to me too. And he's been used to going up against the same DBs, and they want to see how he responds against starters on other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also to conceal Kirk Cousins, not to conceal a deficiency, but we want him to play as long as possible this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he can play all 17 games,
Right.
or 15 games. You know what I'm saying?
That's
85 to 90% of the games. So we don't need to put him out there like that. So I think we just want to see Mendoza go out there and get some live reps, practice with like some different caliber DBs, because a lot of people are saying, well, they're looking good because they're going against our DBs, which aren't that good. Okay, that's an argument. It's even a decent argument, because you never know what you have until you go up against someone else. So I get it. So I'm liking that we are seeing more of Mendoza. I just hope the fan base don't turn this into a quarterback competition, because it's never been a competition.
I get it.
I like the way that we've seen Mendoza have snaps under the center. Another thing that I've been saying since about May, that he's only had like 5 snaps in the last 3 seasons. That's like 0.2%. He still needs to be able to get his footwork together, which he's looking better. Like, he's looking cool. He ain't looking perfect, but he's looking cool, because he's still bumping into the running back sometimes. I mean, that could turn into a fumble. And sometimes he might fumble a snap a little bit. It's not too much, you know. So I'm glad to see him starting to get his footwork and all that together. The beautiful thing about him not having so many snaps is he doesn't have a lot of bad habits to break. I'm seeing a lot of good habits out of him, like when he gets the ball, how he bends down like he's getting ready to hand off the ball, and he does that every time, and then he puts his hands here every time. I like that, because now the defense can't use that as a key or a tail, and they also have to wait that millisecond to see, is he really still holding the ball? And as long as he keeps doing that over and over, it's gonna work into his advantage. No different than when Peyton Manning used to sit out there and put his hand out there like this, make it look like a run all the time, and then take it back at the last minute. You got to respect it. So it's not a lot of bad habits for him to break, but he is developing good habits. So I am very optimistic about what I'm seeing from him under center. Now, this Houston defense, they gave up 27 points last week. So why isn't the big to do about the defense last week? I mean, I get that their defense is elite in all world, but when it came to the preseason game, they gave up 27 points against the Chargers. So with that being said, all I'm saying is this: I don't expect them to go in there and beat our
DeMeco Ryan. That's the name of the head coach.
Yeah, DeMeco Ryan. I'm not expecting them to shut us out. I'm not expecting them to beat our head in, little boy Rico. I'm expecting us to go out there and execute, and we need to put up some points. We don't need to put up 27 points, but we need to show that we do have some moxie.
I agree. And I'm not saying we can't score on these guys or not. I'm just saying that they have a good team. And they weren't running anything special last week or nothing. They're just doing, they're seeing what they have. They're running their talent just like we are. They're not trying. Listen, someone's going to win the game. Now, whether or not who's really putting in effort to win the game is another thing, right? Everyone wants to try and win, but we're all trying to. It all comes down to real like talent. Let's see how our guys are playing and reacting in certain situations, because that's what they want to get them in game time situations or game time reps, right? Because that's how you get rid of the nerves and all the stuff and all the oopsies, the oopsie daisies,
Right.
stepping on somebody's foot or somebody's foot stepping on you fumbling the ball away. No one cares if you fumble in preseason. Just don't do it in the regular season.
For real.
Like that's what the practice is for, is to see what you can do and what you can't do. So for me, watching them, get a couple of pick sixes yesterday and all that, that's just education. They're going to go look at the film. They're going to say, yeah, you can't do that. You got to pay attention to where that guy is.
Right. You better know where that number is at all times.
Yeah. You got to.
Yeah.
They're tricky.
I think we should allow for growing pains when it comes to this defense. Even our team in general, but especially this defense. I think we need to allow for growing pains. And for me, those growing pains is like 8 games. I think that's probably too much for a lot of people. I said about by week 4, I can kind of tell what we're on. But I think we need about 8 weeks of growing pains before we can start being hypercritical of our defense. That's just me, because I know some people are already putting, and I'm not saying you are, Pizzle, but they're putting Coach Robbie on the hot seat after one preseason game. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go with the PTSD, the post traumatic Super Bowl deficiency. As soon as something happened, everything hurts. Everything is anxiety. Everything is hit the panic button. And I'm like, come on, man, we gotta give our coach a chance. We gotta give our new players a chance. We gotta give our young players a chance to figure out who they are in this league. Because, like you said, D'Amico Ryans, they defense is already running. Like they can turn it on when week 1 happened. They don't have to look like that in the preseason. They'll turn it on week 1.
Yeah, exactly. They got what it takes to go of the distance.
Yeah, they got what it takes. So all these people that's out there saying they're giving the Raiders 3 to 5 wins, I got a list of y'all. I got 2 of y'all on my list now. I know it's more than y'all, but when you start saying it multiple times, you're going on the list. Your expectation is 3 to 5 wins, and I'm not feeling that. Because that tells me that you don't have no confidence in what's going on right now. And y'all, and not only that, y'all content creators. So y'all out here gassing these fans up, saying whatever y'all want to say during the week, but really don't even have confidence in the team like how you acting. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna call y'all out right now, but I will call you out once we get to about 6 wins. Now, if we don't, then y'all can come on all off season. I told y'all. Like, y'all, you can do all of that. And then I'm gonna have to eat crow, make mine baked, and put a little glaze over it with a little barbecue sauce with a grape soda.
Yep. Don't forget the grape soda, yo.
And it is what it is, right? But if I'm right, if y'all wrong, you get in the business. So I'm not expecting Houston's offenses. They're not as good as the defense. So I think our defense should be able to flash a little bit. They got to show some kind of promise from some improvement from last week. They got to show some improvement. Absolutely. So let's look at some of these comments. It says, Black, if we had one guy or two out there just hitting someone last game, I'll be excited. We didn't see anything from the last game. No pass rush whatsoever. Well, we didn't have Max out there. Now, I get it that we don't want to predicate everything on Max, but I keep trying to tell people the reason why Max has to play all those snaps, because our defense is like Snickers when you hungry. You better eat a Snickers or you're gonna be hangry. You ain't gonna look right. The defense ain't gonna look right. Now, had we not had Max come back, I'd have been like, yeah, we'd be lucky if we win 4 games for sure. I would be like 3 to 5 games that we didn't have Max, like for sure. Max keeps our defense in the middle of the pack, no matter who they put around them. Although they haven't put the right pieces around them, so I just think that with Max out there, we're a different defense, especially during a regular game, and he's playing all game long because the other players realize they have to step up when Max out there giving so much. Y'all gotta give a little too. Let me see. We haven't seen nobody on defense, especially a rookie flash yet. Agreed. Here you go. Here's a question for you. What exactly are you guys
seen Crawford. We've seen Crawford. He got a sack last week. Didn't Crawford get a sack last week?
Did he get a sack? I think he was mental reps. Did he
mental reps. I think mental reps.
Seeing Sloan, he got a sack. I know. I know. Seeing Sloan got one. And he undrafted.
He's an undrafted. He's an undrafted free agent. Or undrafted. Yeah. So Sloan looks really good actually. He's putting up some real good. I'm actually excited to see that guy play. But I think even mental reps got a sack last week.
Well, that'd be good. Zero said, "What exactly are you guys looking for in the preseason? Personally, I want to see some fundamentals. Can we block, tackle, control the huddle? Yeah, I want to see us tackle because that's what our issue is tackling. And like Pizzle said, we got to stop the run. because it didn't matter was it Love or that other dude that came in. They both had the same amount of yards and the same amount of carries, so it didn't change because it was Love. Because I still tried to say Pizzle. The reason why they look like that because Love was in there doing it, and then I looked at the stats and I was like, oh, they both had the same yards, like plus or minus 1 yard, and I think one had one more carry than the other, so we couldn't stop the run, basically. So we got to stop the run, even in these little practice games or what preseason games. We can't be out there giving up 100 yards rushing in any form fashion.
No, because
In no way.
if you're not willing to tackle in preseason, you're not willing to tackle in real time. That's how I look at that. I can't trust in you to make the tackle in real time if you can't do it in preseason.
J4, is this Malcolm Kuntz contract year? Yes, it is. It is his contract year. This is his second prove it deal. It was his contract year last year. And they gave him what, $12 million. And I think this year they gave him a little less, like it was like 11. But he just made more money than I think he made more money than who's the dude that Chason.
Chason?
Yeah, Chason. Yeah, he made more money than him, and we should have kept him. So this is a prove-it year for him. So Kuntz got to get out there and make some stuff happen. Let's see. Yep, ain't no better than see a team being dialed in preseason than poo-poo the bed when the season starts. Yeah, that happens. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, we don't want to go 4-0 in the preseason and go 0-17.
Right. No, absolutely.
We don't want to do that.
No, we don't want that to happen. So
we just want. I just want to see effort. I want to see. I want to see what the guys that are trying to come in, the rookies, are doing. I know last week looked rough, and that's just how it's going to be for rookies. Like Black said earlier, made a great point. There's going to be a learning curve in this. I don't know if it's going to be 8 weeks. I was thinking maybe 6.
So that's for me. Yeah, that's just for me. Yeah, but 6 is fair.
But yeah, I think between 6 weeks for the offensive line and the defense, right around that time is the November and December, because it's not. That's when that's when you need to start winning, is November, December. Don't get me wrong; it's great to win in September and October, but this ain't a sprint. This is a marathon, and you don't really need to win in September and October, although it helps. But winning in November and December, that's when the winning needs to be winning.
No, that's imperative. You got to win in those months in order to make the playoffs, or even to show that you're a strong team.
Yep.
Yeah, and like JD said, Jason first downs, like he said, he want to see some attitude. Just go out there and hit somebody. Go out there and impose your will. Just go out there and put your staple on the game. And I agree with that. I agree with that. That's why I'm the way I am about JPJ. I'm like, well, JPJ, we need you on this team because you bring that attitude. But you got to be able to play, bro. You got to be able to play. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting us on defense now, because that's your offense. But on defense, that needs to be Quay Walker, and that needs to be what's our other guy name? Well, I'm sorry. No, our other linebacker that we got. Why I can't think of his name, man. It's Quay Walker and N'Kobe Dean.
Yeah, Dean.
It needs to be y'all, but don't be at the price where you're gonna get hurt, bro. Because if you want to wait till the season start to show you a dog, I'm with that, Nicole, because you have a history of getting injured. But
yeah,
Quay Walker, he got the interception and he flipped off some fans.
I like
Not
it.
our fans.
But I like it.
But I like it. I like it. We need to translate that on the field. That's some moxie. Right. Right. So we need that to translate on the field. And that's what I'm looking forward to going into tomorrow's game, to see us have some kind of identity on defense. But I get it. We don't know what we have. So we kind of like, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but I think Coach Kubiak lit into them over the weekend because it sounded like Coach Kubiak's voice he was losing his voice in some of those interviews I've seen, and that man ain't even shaved. So you know what that tell me? That tell me he ain't even been home.
Nope. It's that time of the year. No one's going home. You're at the facility. That's what you
That
do.
tell me he is pissed. That's what I'm saying. I'm not feeling us losing 10 games because he is not gonna have that. That man literally looked like he need to shave 3 days ago. Like he never went home. That's what it looked like. And I'm here for that.
He definitely probably didn't go home. He's wondering what went wrong. How did all of that happen?
Right.
That's just the beginning. This ain't even the real season yet. But this is his first head coaching job, so it's a little different for him now. Before it was, he's an offensive coordinator. You go in and take a look at the offense and see what he would have. Now he's got to go in and look at the offense and the defense. He's got to go in there, see what's going on, particularly with the defense. The offense ran all right. I want to see more red zone. I'm happy about us scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I want to see more of that. Let's see that. Woo.
Right.
That's what I've been wanting to see that for over 20 years. It's been that long.
Yeah. I'm expecting to have no remnants of last year on offense, defense, special teams, none of that. Because if I'm picking tri-tip, I don't want to go in the kitchen and smell chicken. I don't. So I don't want to smell no chicken, no barbecue chicken, no barbecue chicken alert, no fried chicken, none of that. I'm expecting to smell tri-tip. So that's what I don't want to see no remnants of what we had going on last year. So that's what I'm expecting out of this team. And I'm expecting Jack Bech to keep trending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting him to keep. I don't think that was like a one-hit wonder because I saw him doing that, and I'm mad that I didn't go do the film and video, but that was because the algorithm was tripping about Jack Bech playing the way he was last year. Because the same thing with Mike Washington Jr., bad intentions. People were saying he can't run inside. All he does is run the outside zone scheme. And I was like, I don't know what I didn't watch the boy play in college like that, but I sure started looking at him once we drafted him, and I saw him running inside the tackles. And I made a whole video of him running inside of the tackles, nothing but that. So I was like, well, I don't know what y'all see, but I see he can run inside the tackles. So what did he do? First preseason game. He showed patience, the patience people said he didn't have. He let all them blocks develop. Taylor Rogers pancaked the fool. Connor Hayward went in there and slapped somebody. Jay Bech went in over there and moved the crowd with somebody. And even with all them 3 perfect blocks, along with the other blocks too on the line, he showed exceptional patience. Shook a dude in the hole, stiff arm another one, and hit that gas in GO. That's what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting to see things like that. Team. We're playing as a team because last year we didn't play as a team because they just turned around, gave the ball to Asher Genty and said, run. And he took a hit, and then he had to shake off somebody and then get what he could. I'm expecting us to see us play like a team. I'm expecting the Jay Bech to keep trending up. You ain't got to be perfect, but you got to keep that standard that you've been keeping, and so people can stop saying he's not getting separation because he got separation last game.
Mm-hmm.
I seen him get separation last game.
And I seen him
do the thing that. What'd you say?
Seen him with my own eyes.
Yeah, I seen it with my own eyes. So that's what I'm expecting out of the game tomorrow. Anything that you expecting tomorrow, my brother?
Yeah, I'm just expecting to hopefully come out and do some, dominate in the run game. We didn't really run the ball that much last week. And I wanted to see us run the ball a little bit more. I mean, I want to see us go down and score some touchdowns too, but I also want to see us. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to wait until the regular season starts to get a big, real dose of what the run game is going to look like because They're not going to go out there and, run the ball like they want to run the ball in the regular season or whatever. I get it, but, but yeah, I'd like to see him run the ball a little more, and I definitely like to see him stop the run a little bit better. And a little bit better on the corner action. I'd like to maybe see a turnover or two, maybe. I'd like to see him maybe force the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to see a turnover. Let me see. Raider Age Straight says, I'm looking forward to just being able to stop another team from going to the playoffs again.
Well,
I think we're gonna play spoiler to a lot of teams this year, actually. Frank Webb said, I think we pretty much tossed out the funky leftovers during the offseason. Jay Forrest says, Zach Bech can be a potential monster in the making. Hey.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I mean, he just got to keep trending up.
And he's tall too. He can throw. You can throw the ball up high too. You don't have to throw it down low. You can throw it up high. He'll box the guy out. Like he's basically, basically a tight end and a wide receiver right now.
Yeah, because he definitely had Steve Smith Sr. in his feelings.
Oh yeah.
Talking about he ain't got it.
He ain't got it. He came in here talking and he ain't got it. Just by the way he was talking, I can tell he ain't got it.
Right. Okay. He didn't say nothing about how he played, but he sure was going to say he ain't got it because of how he was talking. Well, Jay Bech is backing it up right now. It's not Jay Bus, but it's Jay Bech.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I got one more thing. I guess we got this quick little thing. It's like 4 minutes. Talking an interview with Jay Bech. I thought it was only fitting to talk to highlight Mr. Bech because a lot of people was giving him a lot of grief during this offseason. Hondo, why he ain't even gonna make the squad. Now you might be right about Donté Thornton, but I don't even think you're right about that. But let's see what they say. Let's see what Jay Bech had to say after his breakout performance.
Bech after the joint practice with the Texans. Off top, man, before we get to the practice, man, how's the family doing? How's everyone doing?
Man, everybody's doing fantastic. Just super blessed. You know what I mean? God's definitely been a great God, and like I said, just blessed. How about yourself?
It's all good. It's all good. I just know that the family's tight, and I'm sure when you're trying to, take that step and go from year one as a rookie, trials and tribulations to year two, having that family support's got to be important.
100%.
Yeah.
You hit it nail on the head.
Well, it's out here. You put in work against a really good defense. How did it feel going up against those guys that were basically ranked number one in just about everything last year?
Yeah, felt good. I feel like we did a really good job. This is another practice. Come out here, offense, defense, special teams, just another step. To head in the direction we want to go in. Another day of growth for the team. I think it was a solid day. I think we put in some really great work.
I know it's, all about stacking days. You can't look back at what you did. But for you, even on Thursday against the Cardinals, you established yourself as a guy that kept on extending the drive, right? Yeah. And being that receiver that would move the sticks.
Yeah, I forgot. He's affectionately known now as third and base, right? That's what we call him now, right? Three first downs on third down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need. Like you know how many times we couldn't get first downs last year?
Mm-hmm. Well, he got a couple for us for sure.
Yeah, that's why I was like, he's a walk-in first down because, granted that he only got 20 catches, but when he was in, he had 220 yards, I believe, 224 somewhere in there. And I'm like, so essentially, whenever he was catching the ball, he was getting first downs. So that's what I saw for him. Then people want to say, well, he's a tight end. I'm like, oh, my God. Now he got to be a tight end. So now we want to turn our tight end to a wide receiver and turn our wide receiver to a tight end. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. Too much, exactly.
How important is it to be available and be that guy, as Kirk Cousins called you, the power forward?
Yeah, I think you just got to play your role. Whatever the team needs from myself, my teammates, whatever that role may be. If that's catching 20 balls a game, if that's going insert blocking, whatever that may be, playing those special teams, like whatever that may be, whatever that role is, to fulfill that role to the best of your ability. And if each and every guy does that, which I know they will, because we have a super great team, connected team, great coaching staff, again, I think we're going to keep taking steps in the right direction.
In your particular style, does it benefit you even more being in this joint practice against another team than opposed to going up against your own guys?
Yeah, you're going to be a little more physical.
Yeah.
You don't got to obviously we're protecting each other out here, both the teams, not trying to bring anybody to the ground, no cheap hits, nothing like that. But you definitely intensity rise a little bit, and you definitely get to, be a little more physical.
What have you seen from the quarterback play? We see Fernando and Kirk Cousins doing a little one action, and you interacting with all of them.
Yeah, no, I think they've done both a great job. Kirk being that guy who's been in the league for a while, just being a fantastic mentor to all of us. And then Fernando, just every day getting better, with the reads, his poise, being a leader in the team, being a leader in that offense in the huddle, getting us where we need to be, making the right calls. Like I said, every day he's getting better, but it's no shock to me because it's the way he works.
Right. Head coach Clint Kubiak has talked about taking the I out of the conversation. It's 100%. All about the we, and I know that's been you since day one. So how much does this culture that Clint Kubiak is trying to build, how much does that fit you and suit you?
100%. I think it suits everybody on the team. We have the team we have this year, the guys we have. Because of that, they brought guys in who are about that we culture, not the me or the I. And I think, like I said, coach has done a great job, just really setting the standard each and every day. Start with the standard, telling us what that standard is. And then us players, we got to go out and fulfill that role.
Has there been anything that you learned about yourself in the short time in the league so far?
Yeah, definitely. Just perseverance. The league.
I like that, perseverance. And by the way, Raiders, I need to go in and watch one. Y'all can change it from the I and to we. Take the me out of teams and turn it into we. That sounds better. Y'all can use that. You can use that. Take the me and turn it into we. Y'all can use that. Now, the thing that he said is perseverance. Blocking out the noise. I think JPJ needs to do that, and I think he's starting to do that, other than he needs to be healthy. Perseverance. I'm loving to hear that from him because he's not listening to the noise. And I think that's probably why Steve Smith Sr. got in his feelings a little bit, or whatever you want to call it, because Bech wasn't trying to hear that, because he probably was trying to little boy him, and he wasn't having it. I mean, because look how he's standing. He's standing like an alpha. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has the ultimate confidence in himself. And I really like that about Bech.
Yeah, I like his performance last year. He came out, like I said, and got us a couple of key first downs last year. I remember seeing him catch a couple of passes towards the sideline and stuff. And he's got good hands. I remember them trying to knock the ball out of his hands and not being able to do it. So I like that he's got nice, strong hands. And I think that he's and he's expanding his route tree. Like I said, he's not a burner. That's why we got Thornton, and and everybody else. So they can, and Tucker and Naylor, so they can run, so they can do that. That's not his strong point. His strong point is blocking and short and the short to mediocre stuff right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, these are the best in the world. A lot of people get paid a lot of money, but that's both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? Like the guy across from you, he's getting paid a lot of money, to guard you. So just being able to understand, there's going to be ups and downs, but to be able to just persevere, keep God first and everything, keep working hard. And I think the main thing, a theme of the team and a theme that I like to go off of is just consistency. Each and every day, coming in, putting your head down. If it's the best day ever, okay day or not a great day in your eyes, just keep coming in day out and being consistent.
You told us last year in the locker room, you don't block, you don't get the rock. And I know in this Clint Kubiak offense, you have to be able to block. So 100%. I know that fits you perfectly.
Yeah, 100%. I love getting my, going in there, sticking my nose down in there, insert block, whatever it is, cracking safeties, whatever it might be, that's part of my game. So that's a part of football that I really love, is just the physicality, the physical nature of the game. And yeah, I just love.
Where does that commitment come from, though? Everyone doesn't want to get in there and get dirty. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'd like to be on the outside just catching the run.
100%. It's the love for the teammates. Yeah. Like I said, fulfilling that role, doing what you have to do for the team. My role is going to be in there, going crack safeties to get the running backs, running lanes. Right. Now I'm going to do that to the best of my ability for this team.
And one final question for you. On that big run that Mike Washington had, you had a hell of a block in that. How satisfying is that when you see, that you're blocking, and then you see that big play happen like that?
Yeah, it's fun, because a lot of times you're going in there, you're doing the dirty work. So whenever you go in there and you make that key block for the running back to run off of, obviously the whole line did a great job on that. Connor Hayward had a great block on that. Right. And that just shows that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's in unity. Everybody's with one mission, one goal. and knows what's going on to the exact T. You know, that's what this offense is going to look like.
It was a hell of a play. Well, appreciate your time.
Yes,
Congratulations on everything you're doing, and make sure you tell the family I said hello.
Yes, I will.
So the thing about that, playing receiver, right?
He's pretty big. He looks pretty swole too.
Don't he?
We want to get put in a headlock with that dude.
And so the thing with me when I was playing receiver is usually like the first play of the game is a run play from receiver. And you know the defender wants to try to punk you as a receiver. They don't expect you to be physical when you're a receiver, so it catches them off guard. What I used to like to do is take that corner and run him right off the sideline, right into the sideline, especially if it's their sideline. Especially if I'm lined up on their sideline, I used to love taking that receiver and running right out. I'm talking about out of bounds and everything. Just because that sets the tone like, bro, you're going to have a day today. You're going to have a day. So now you don't know if I'm about to run up on you. So now when you run up on them, they don't know if you about to grab him or if you're going to run by him or nothing. So now you put them on the defense. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you trying to figure out what they're going to do to you. So I love the fact that he's that's old school. He's a throwback to me. Throwback. He's a throwback. I kind of like that a little bit. But yeah, so I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, and I hope it's contagious because we didn't see a lot with Naylor, and that could be by design. So I want to see him get some burn a little bit, and I want to see Benson continue to playing well, and I need to see Donté Thornton get on the field because our offense I think is going to really carry our defense for a little bit. Pizzle give y'all 6 games. That's being fair. That's being fair because Pizzle like, man, I need to see something like y'all acting like we ain't draft nobody and all that. So let me know in the chat how y'all feel. Let me read the last comments because this is the end of the bar. Let's see.
Yeah, Bart's got to come to an end, fellas. Sorry, but I got to get off here pretty soon.
No, it said Jack Bech put me in a mind frame of Julian Edelman for the Patriots with Tom Brady. It's funny that you say that, J4.
He's not as fast.
I made that comparison earlier, a few videos back, about Tom Brady knowing something that everybody else don't know, how to keep the pressure off of Brock Bowers. You got to have receivers that get targets, like the Edelman, the Wes Walker. So Welker. I'm sorry, Wes Walker. You're right.
Put some respect on his name.
You're right.
I'm just kidding. I don't give a shit.
You're right. You're actually right, though. He said, looks and sounds like a Raider to me. He passes the pride and points test. That says a lot. If you say that, Webb. He says, yeah, Jack Bech do come across as a throwback, hard-nosed type of wideout. Yes.
It reminds me of like a Doug Jolly. You remember Doug Jolly?
Oh, yeah, I remember Doug Jolly, tight end.
Yeah. He was old school, too. He never wore gloves. He wore those bare knuckles. Remember his hands? He's really a throwback tight end to back in the day. That's how Doug Jolly used to do it. He's an old school kind of guy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm not going to do a prediction of the score or anything like that. I just want to see our first whoever. Do you think Kirk Cousins? After the way we played in practice, do you think Kirk Cousins needs to come out there and play tomorrow?
He's not gonna. He might play the first. They might send him out there for the first drive, but maybe not. Maybe they'll just send out Mendoza, or maybe they'll let AOC start, or maybe they'll let Jacobs start, and then let Fernando come in the second half, and AOC could ride the pine.
I think AOC is going to play. We got to get some trade value out of him. Maybe we should put him in there. Hey, so Raiders Rebel going to be there. So hopefully they put him in so you can watch AOC play. Maybe he can get a quarter or so. Maybe like
the
first. Huh?
He'd probably get a half. If they're going to put him in, they'll probably give him a half.
Who, AOC? Like the whole second half?
Yeah, if they start, because it's preseason. So one of them, Somebody's gonna play the whole second half, and somebody's gonna play the first half.
So then doesn't really leave a lot of room for Jacob Clark because let's say the first.
Well, that'll be next game.
Okay.
Clark will probably play next game with AOC or whatever. We'll probably start unless they want to start Mendoza again. That's going to be to be determined on the team. You know what I mean? Who's going to start? Usually the threes or whatever. They let all those guys go out there and play the last game because they want to go work on other teams. Maybe other teams want them. So that's really what Game 3 is about. We're not going to see anything with Game 3. We're going to just see all the practice squad guys and all the thirds and stuff that and see if they can get a chance to go to another team, because that's what that's about.
Yeah, that's for all the bubble players that might not make the roster.
Mm-hmm. You go out there and showcase your talent to other teams and maybe possibly suit up for someone else because you may not be good enough to suit up for our club.
It might not fit what we got going on. Woo.
Yeah, you may not be smart enough. You might be an I instead of a we.
You're all about me instead of about we.
Yep.
So let's say Kirk Cousins come in, play like a series, maybe a series and a half, whatever. That's a half a quarter, whatever. Then Fernando comes in, finish out to the half. Then AOC play a half, and then the third final game, Mendoza starts. No Kirk Cousins at all. Then you put in AOC for like a little bit, and then you put Jacob Clark in.
Yeah, although Jacob Clark might get a quarter. He might get the fourth quarter tomorrow night. I don't know. Because last week AOC got the fourth quarter. So, I don't know. We'll see. At least I believe he got the fourth quarter. I know he played for sure. So
yeah. He said, "Yep, business decisions if he gets kept. Yeah, it will be a business decision if they will keep him. It's starting to not look so well for him because he's getting less and less name brought up in conversation, and even when it is being brought up, it's brought in as an afterthought almost. Because I heard Kubiak was talking about. They was talking about Kirk Cousins and Fernando. Then he had to say, "Oh yeah, and Jacob. I mean, and AOC and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? How they started off the year, as a unified. But as we starting to dwindle down, it is what it is. Like if y'all ain't been reading what's been on the walls all season at this point, you're probably gonna be one of those fans that's gonna be emotional about everything all year long because they've really been telling us what the plan is. They've actually been showing us what the plan is. I ain't have to be Negro Damas to figure it out.
Calm down.
Calm down? My bad.
You're gonna get us flagged or something.
Right. It said no major injuries is what's considered a victory in preseason.
True that.
Yeah. So Pizzle, if you want to dip out, that's cool. I'm probably just gonna hang around for a couple more minutes, I guess.
The one thing I do want to see is whether or not I want to see the number ones come out and look like a well-oiled machine. Then I want to see the number one defense come out and get a 3 and out. I want them to look like a well-oiled machine. Or
that's who needs to play for a minute. Is that I think that first team defense needs to stay out there for like a half because one thing I did see Powers out there getting schemed in preseason. I don't like that because that one touchdown that the dude was running the back pylon behind Powers, they was doing that all last year on he was playing safety. Granted, Stoops must not be ready yet, so you got to put Powers out there. So they ran a drag route in front of him that somebody was guarding him, but he was going to help him a little bit. And that little step or two that's the thing about safety. You take a step or two in the wrong direction, now you out of position. Then they ran a receiver behind him, and that's who they threw the touchdown to. I do not want to see that out of Powers in year 2. Matter of fact, I haven't been hearing Powers' name come up going to the Steelers because Patrick Graham is going to probably take some of the players that he liked to come over there. And I hate to say it, Powers might be one of those guys. And I really like Powers, but he might be one of the ones that might not make it. And I hate to say it. Huh?
He's slowing ahead, and they got him out of position. But I'm a Raider, though, and I got to go. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, chat. Right on, Black. And you had a good show, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we'll hack in with each other a little bit later. So my thing, guys, what do you guys think about Paul Mau? This is a contract year for him. So is he something that we need to figure out with him? Because I don't know, man. I'm not liking what I'm seeing particularly out of him, but I understand why he's playing because Stooks ain't ready. What you guys thoughts about Paul Mau? Let's see. Paul Mau needs to stick to box safety. Yes. And I think the reason why they can't keep him at box safety is because Stooks is not ready yet. But at the same time, though, we're also not using our schemes because, like I keep telling you guys, I need to take my own advice this time it's not about who's starting, it's about packages. I think that Kubiak can, in fact, scheme Paul Mau as well, not Kubiak in this case, but Coach Leonard to scheme Paul Mau not to be that one high safety or the free safety in a cover 2 situation where he's the last line of defense. I think it can be a place where we can put in Stooks when we know that it's an obvious pass down and we need somebody back there that can cover a little bit better. I think that's what he'll be doing. But it says, you guys are right. We probably won't see much of Cousins from here on out. I don't think we should. What do you guys think about Hemby? What about Hemby, y'all? He said Aiden looked like crap last game. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately he did. Unfortunately he did. I haven't seen much progression with him over the last season. I see him dwindling down. Went from being a 5-5 player starting his rookie year, then going 2-5, and then starting no games because he was injured. Now you almost rock bottom. Like, what are you have to show yourself this year. It's a contract year for you. I don't know. It's not that I don't like Aiden. It's just that what are we getting from him? I've seen what I need to see from him. I've seen he's played a third of his career on the bench, a third of his career as a backup, and a third of his career as a starter. What more do we need to see to make an evaluation? Hold on, y'all. Can y'all tell me what do y'all need to see? I had to fix this. This camera was bothering me. What more do we need to see out of AOC? What more do we need to see? Him be on thin ice? AOC regressed? Hemby got to go show what he can do in these next 2 games. Good point. Good point. Because I don't think we need to see much of bad intentions anymore. I think M Dub is we already know, just like Kubiak says, the way he is in practice, it shows in the game. So we can shut him down. We can shut him down. My only concern about him is he don't fumble. Because that is his kryptonite is fumbling. And when you have the starters in there, they're going for the ball. You think they're gonna feel some type of you don't think they're gonna feel some type of way about him breaking off runs? They're gonna feel some type of way about both our running backs having the ability to hit the home run. It's like having Canseco and McGuire in the lineup. You walk one just so the other one can hit a 2-run homer. Or God forbid if he runners on base. Like you walk one guy and then he cleans up the bases. So like you don't wanna have that situation. So they're gonna be going for the ball when it comes to Washington. So that's his kryptonite. Now Hemby, he may be on thin ice because of the simple fact that Dylan Lobby is probably going to make the squad. Dylan Lobby is probably going to make the squad. And he's going to make the squad for special team reasons. He's going to make the squad because he's a good locker room guy, obviously. Same reason why so many people love AOC. AOC's a good locker room guy. He's a good vet. He's a good pro. You can never have too many of those in your locker room. So they have some affinity for Lobby. Lobby got a carry last week. So I'm needing to see more from him and more from Hemby. I do like Hemby because Hemby can run in between the tackles. I don't want to run Genty through the tackles all the time, although he can. I don't even want to run Mike Washington Jr. in the tackles all the time. But we got to keep the defense honest by doing that. Who else you guys think is on thin ice to making this 53-man roster? Because the first cuts is going to be coming up here pretty soon. EJ Williams. I think he had like a 41-yard catch or something like that. He had a big catch. Is that something that, Donté Thornton should be concerned about? How many receivers are we going to keep? Because a 41-yard catch in the preseason, it's going to be hard to keep him on the practice squad now because of that. It's going to be hard to keep him on the practice squad because receivers on the practice squad is always something that teams are looking for. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and I think O-linemen. But for sure, wide receivers and quarterbacks. Do you guys think EJ makes this squad? Let's see. Ooh, Eichenberg. You think he get cut? We don't have really a lot of depth at the linebacker position, and wasn't he like rated very, very high in special teams? Or was that the other one, Lindenberg? Or was it Eichenberg? I'm not too sure. Maybe I should look it up. Let me look it up because I don't like to be inaccurate. 1 second, y'all. Okay, so Eichenberg was the standout on special teams. I think he'll make the team simply because of that. I think Eichenberg will simply make the team because of special teams. And plus, we're thin at the linebacker core. So, how many wide receivers you guys think we're going to keep? It says, Frank Webb says 3 running backs will probably be a third down. He said 3 running backs will probably be a third down type back that contributes to special teams, like you say. Yeah. Pretty sure Hayward is figured in. Oh, yeah, for sure. Cody? Yeah. Lindenberg? He's definitely been looking better. He's been looking better. I would agree with that. That he's been looking better. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we do need to get some depth in that linebacking core. I'm really hoping that Nakobe Dean, knock on wood if you with me, nothing really happens to him. Because then we gotta go from a base 3-4 to a 4-3 again. With Quay in the middle. Let me think. Let me see who else might get cut early. Let me look at the roster. Let me look at the roster. Are you guys ready for the game tomorrow? How are you guys gonna watch the game tomorrow? Play by play. I don't know if you guys ever seen me do a play by play, but I like play by plays. I used to do all the teams. I used to do a play by play for the Warriors, hockey with my boy Josh and tennis. But I just been focusing on the Raiders since the off season. So let's take a look at this roster real quick. Let's look at the Raiders roster. Okay, so Thomas Booker the fourth. Does he make the roster? Yes. Bowers, yes. Noah Brown, camp body. Noah Brown, wide receiver that we brought in. I think he got like 4 touchdowns his whole career. Camp body. Spencer Burford, obviously gonna make it. Adam Butler gonna make it. Jeremy Chin gonna make it. Jacob Clark. Jacob Clark probably gonna make the practice squad. Brandon Cleveland. What do you guys think about Brandon Cleveland? We haven't heard 0 to nothing about him. He said, rest in peace to Nelly. Oh, Nelly. What the heck? Let's see. That boy said, rest in peace. Raiders might still add a vet at linebacker before the season. What the heck is going on? 5 wide receivers at most. I was thinking maybe possibly 6. Haven't heard much about Cleveland. Is not a good sign for him. Yeah, I agree with that. That's not a good sign for him if we haven't heard a lot from him. Haven't heard much about Cleveland. Not a good sign at all. Right. So I think Cleveland might be kind of like in trouble. AJ Cole, Kirk Cousins, Keyron, all of them make it. Crosby make it. Braden Daniels was an old lineman. I don't really know much about him. I'll pay attention to him tomorrow. N'Kobe Dean, of course. Philip Dorsett. I think he gets cut. I think Philip Dorsett gets cut. Let's see. Let's see. Tyler Dzansky. Oh, he's a lone snapper. Tommy Eichenberg, you guys got my man cut. Futakasi. Oh, he's a D tackle. I don't know who he is. Matt Gay. What are you guys thinking about our kicking position? What y'all think about that? I think we need to bring in a kicker, y'all. What y'all think about that? Let's see. Charles Grant. I think Charles Grant is playing good. I like Charles Grant. Oh my gosh. We just go. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what I can do. Let's see if we can fix this. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Patrick Gerd, he's a tight end. I don't know, he might not make it. Jafari Harvey, DN. I haven't heard much about him. Roman Hemby, I don't know. Tucker Hemingway, that's who I need to see. They talk so much about him in camp. We need to see him do some things. Shedrick Jackson. What do you guys think about Shedrick? Isaiah Jada, he's a tackle. Dalton Johnson, y'all better keep your eye on him. Buddy Johnson, he's a linebacker. Haven't heard much of him. Patrick Johnson, DN, haven't heard much of him. Teron Johnson, he played good. Taryn played well. He did give up that pass interference, but he was in there. He was making tackles and everything, so it was good to see him. Get that man his money, man. What y'all waiting on? Get that man his money. Malcolm Kuntz, Devin Lafayette. What do you guys think about Shedrick, though? Let me see what you guys are saying. I usually catch the preseason game on the radio, but if you're up, I will tune in for a while. Yeah. I'll have some audio. I'll do play-by-play with the audio. Yes, bring back Carlson. Yeah, at least. Yeah. I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be mad at them if they did. I wouldn't be mad if they did. So I'm trying not to think about kicking. Udakasi? Fadaka. Fadatuku. I got to get his name right, especially if he make the team at tackle. Shedrick hopes he gets on the team. He's always right there on the bubble, too. Yeah, he said I like Jackson, but it's a crowded room. I agree. Jonah Lalu, Dylan Lobby, Lindenbaum, all the making. Antonio Mafi played good. He played good. Hezekiah Masters, of course, he's going to make it. I need to see some plays from you. Hansi Masuzawa. Godzilla, because it's not looking good for him. That boy was out there nervous. Hey, did anybody else feel nervous? Feel the nervous energy when he was walking out there? I felt the nervous energy. Like, I was not shocked at all that he missed that 38-yard field goal. Like, he shouldn't have missed the 38-yard field goal. I don't care how much nerves he had, but did anybody else feel that nervous energy when he went out there? Michael Mayer looking good. Tristan McCullum at safety, not hearing much. J Mac. Cameron McGrone at linebacker, haven't heard much. Mendoza. Jordan Meredith. Jordan Meredith, man, keep him from center, though. But the guard position is it's a log jam there. Colton Miller, Missouri, he probably going to get cut, can't body. I don't know. Aiden O'Connell, Caleb off forward. He's a cornerback. They don't know who he is. Dare Ungubawale. He's a running back. I don't know what's up with him. Albert O at tight end. I don't know. Albert O. Sagoon Alubi. He's a linebacker. I don't know. Quiddy Pay. JJ Pegues. Darren Porter. We need to see more from you. Will Putnam. Decam. Chase Roberts. I've seen some people say Chase Roberts should make this team. I think he'll be a practice squad player. So we got Caleb, Carter Runyon, Cian Sloan. Look like Cian Sloan going to make the squad. Let's see who else. Donté Thornton, you in trouble. Greedy Vance. Greedy Vance led the team in tackles last week. I think he had like 8 or 9 tackles last week. Greedy Vance was greedy last week. Yeah. EJ Williams Jr., tough. Trey Zoom, just tough, guys. Just tough. It's really, really tough. I think we brought in a lot of competition. Yo, Tokyo Toe was all nerves. Yeah. We should try out Dalton at free safety. You know what? No, 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 no. Well, he's not better than Stooks though. But he may be better. He may be better than Chien though. But I think they have Chin out there more so for because he's a veteran, but he ain't playing like it. Because one of the things I kept saying was, well, you played a year out there, they worked you like a rib, so now you should be able to identify some of those things, and it didn't translate because I seen him still getting beat, putting corners in vulnerable positions. He said, remember when Godzilla stomped on baby Godzilla's tail? Godzuki was his name. That's what Tokyo Toe needs. I'm gonna call him Godzuki. Yeah, he's Godzuki. Cause he ain't Godzilla right now. He ain't doing it real big, Godzilla. He's doing it real small, Godzuki. We need you to do it big, brother. Gritty good. Gritty good for an undersized guy. Yeah, he's like 5'9". Yeah, I like Greedy Vance. I like that name. I like the so well. Get ready for tomorrow, guys. I got to get ready for tomorrow. I'm so excited for calling the game. I wanted to call the game last week, but I wasn't able to do it. So, but I'm going to definitely call the game tomorrow. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully you guys pull up for that and have fun, though. So, Pizzle and I, we appreciate y'all hacking in to the show. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty. Y'all already know there's only one nation. That's the Raider Nation. All day, every day. Because I'm a Raider. Pizzle a Raider. Y'all Raiders, whether they be from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
I'm a Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.